And one of the important and crucial elements relating to leverage is it's not oftentimes what you really need, it's what the other side perceives you to need.
But what do you think Iran perceived us to need?
Well, I think Iran perceived us to need a deal. Now, this is despite...
Why? But why? Because the sanctions were visiting a lot of injury and harm on them. They could have kept the sanctions in effect for a long time. If that is all that was at play here, we had the big lever. What did they have?
Okay, so what you're now focusing on is the second element of leverage, is not just sort of the level of need for a deal, but you're focusing on what are we going to do if we don't do a deal with them. What Roger Fisher and Bill Urey in the classic book on negotiation, Getting to Yes, talk about as your BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement with the other side. And not only what is your best alternative to a deal with them, what's their best alternative to a deal with you, right? And by the way, I talk about it, and some of my colleagues talk about it as well. We don't like to talk about it as BATNA this and BATNA that, because then when we talk about it, people just, their eyes tend to glaze over when we use that term. So I generally prefer to use the term Plan B. Plan A is doing a deal. Plan B is what you're going to do if you don't do a deal. Plan A for them is doing a deal with you. Plan B for them is what they're going to do if they don't do a deal with you. So let's talk about the sanctions. Sanctions created what? It created for us leverage. How did it create leverage for us? Because it created the difference between a Plan A and a Plan B for them. Okay? Plan A, any type of a deal, okay, is going to be better for them if it gets rid of sanctions than their Plan B, because Plan B, presumably, right, sanctions continue. So if you create a really, really bad Plan B for the other side, which is the sanctions regime, you have created leverage, because by comparison, it makes any Plan A look better.